Good morning, my dear students. Now, let's start with the poem Wind by Subramanya Bharati. First, we will discuss the central idea of the poem. This poem is derived from the poet's observation and devotion. He sees the effects of the wind in journal and of stormy weather. He also praises the wind god. We are able to appreciate the keenness of the poet's vision and his unique thoughts processes about something as apparently simple as the wind. The poet suggests everyone to be strong physically and mentally. Wind here is the symbol of difficulties or obstacles humans have to face for their survival. People with strong psyche and good mental health will be to stand and face odds or obstacles of life. This is the first stanza of the poem, students. Wind comes softly, don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers, don't throw down the books on the shelf. Here, students, you can see the poet makes a request to the wind, asking it not to blow so strongly that it breaks down the shutters of the windows. As they separate man from the stormy environment outside. So he is asking the wind for protection. He also asks the wind not to scatter the papers in his room or not to throw down the books from his bookshelves with its force. Now, second stanza and third stanza. Their books, what you did. Their looks, what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weakling. Frail, crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts, the wind god winnows and crushes them all. Here, students, these are the word meanings. Poking means making off. Weakling means weak bodies or persons. Frail means weak. And crumbling means destroying or breaking. Rafter means sloping beam supporting of roof. Wind god means symbolic of all kind of winds. Winnows means separate weak from strong. Now we will discuss the explanation of these two stanzas. Here in second stanza, here the poet accuses the wind of blowing too strongly and creating the mess in his room, with the books thrown down from the shelves and their pages torn. He sees outside and tells the wind that it has brought rain with it again. Now come to the third stanza, students. In third stanza, now the poet speaks in a subdued tone to the wind, saying that it makes mischief whenever it encounters anyone who is too meek. Meek means humble, and mild to protest against its actions. It tears down doors, rafters, and even entire wooden houses altogether, leaving people without shelter from the harsh world outside. This is an idiom implying that the troubles we face in life come as suddenly as the wind and also leave suddenly. As the poet says, the wind can tear down weak bodies and fragile hearts, that is, difficulties in life, can lead to a loss of hope, as well as a loss of life. Thus, it is all up to the wind god, says the poet. Now come to the fourth stanza. He won't do what you tell him, so come let's build strong homes. Let's join the doors firmly, practice to firm the body, make the heart stead fast. Do this, and the wind will be friends with us. Now, in this stanza, the poet wants to say, the poet now speaks to the readers, saying that the wind does not listen to anybody, and its actions are governed by its alone. To escape its harmful effects, we should build our homes on a strong foundation and ensure that their doors cannot be easily penetrated. It means get access to by the wind. Also, we must train our bodies and our hearts to combat and resist, face the ill effects of the wind. If we are able to do this, then we will no longer consider the wind as enemy. Instead, the wind will invite us to become its friend. This is an idea meaning that if we make our character strong, we will be able to combat any troubles easily. However, if our character is weak, the troubles will create problems for us. Now, come to the fifth stanza. The wind blows out weak fires, he makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good, we praise him every day. Now, in this stanza, the poet describes how the wind has both bad effects and good effects. The bad effect is that it can blow out a weak fire. However, if the fire is burning strongly, then the wind will make it burn fiercer, thus nurturing what is already strong. The poet comes to the conclusion that if we are strong, then the wind is a good friend for us to have, as it will increase our strength. This is an idea meaning that all troubles that we face in life will strengthen us further if our character are strong. However, we will be seriously affected by troubles if our characters are weak. He also says that we should sing our devotion to the wind God on a daily basis, meaning that we should happily face any troubles in our life. Now let's discuss the poetic devices in this poem. Students, you can see here personification, a figure of speech which is used for an inanimate object or animals, birds look or feel human. So in lines 5 to 8, 12 to 13, 18, 20, 21 and 22, we can see use of personification. Metaphor, a poetic device which compares two things or qualities which are unlike. In line 12, the wind god we knows. Here, we know is a metaphor for separating the weak from strong. Anaphora. This means the repetition of the same word in successive lines. So in lines 2, 3 and 4, repetition of don't. Line 6, 7 and 8, repetition of you. Line 9, 10 and 11, repetition of crumbling. And line 14 and 15, repetition of let's. So students, I think you all have understood the poem. Thank you.